The bomb squad looks to be on the sidelines for a short while, but he gets it done. I'm Teekosey, and this is with just 15 defeats. Well. Teekosey's back with another round of with just 15 defeats. In this show, we're going to be discussing the Deontay Wilder versus Chris Arreola fight. Now, for my regular listeners and watchers, I've been away for a couple of weeks. I went across to France for a couple of weeks to watch a few matches at the European Championships. That's football, British football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. And I watched a number of brilliant matches. None of them involved my team, England, but hey, there you go. But what I would say is that if you do want to watch some fantastic football in a great stadium, down in Marseille, really enjoyed the stadium. If you Google it, it's a phenomenal little stadium, which is a big stadium actually. It looks amazing. The atmosphere in there was off the charts. I mean, seriously, it was pretty fantastic. But anyway, enough of that. That's why I've been away for a couple of weeks. I've just been catching up in the last couple of days with some of the fights that have been taking place in my absence. So obviously, one was the Deontay Wilder Arreola fight. Another one was the Joseph Parker fight. I believe there's been a few more which I'm just catching up with. And we'll put out some more videos. We're going to start getting back onto the previews. Really looking forward to a couple of fights coming up. I'm going to be putting up a video on Usmanov versus Ortiz in the next week. Probably when I fit it in with my my business. And we'll just see where we go from there. But Deontay Wilder versus Chris Arreola happened about a week ago from when I'm recording this. And it was an 8th round stoppage win for Deontay Wilder. To be expected. But I think what I'll do is I'm just going to quickly flick through the rounds as I took some notes, as I usually do in these sort of fights. And I like to paint a picture of what the fight was all about. And then we'll discuss it afterwards. Okay, so in the first round, Arreola was circling away from Deontay Wilder's big right hand. Not a lot happened. There was a little bit of booing, but nothing came from Arreola. He was moving away, trying to work out what his game plan was. Maybe he was just trying to wear him out. Maybe he was just trying to see the openings. See the openings because he was circling away. But nothing really came from that. Second round, it started off the same. It didn't start off the same. Sorry, I've just read my notes completely wrong. Chris Arreola was pressing in the second round, but Deontay Wilder was far too quick. The only joy that Chris Arreola got was when he managed to get Deontay close to the ropes and he landed a few punches. But what I thought at the time was that Deontay Wilder was drawing him in. I think he got a bit fed up, even in that real short amount of time that Arreola was circling away from him, that when he started to move towards him, he thought, I'm going to let him in and see what happens. And Arreola got a few good punches, but not much. And then Deontay landed a pretty good punch right at the end. Arreola was smiling, as they usually do. We move on to the third round. Again, it took till the middle of the round for a bit of an exchange, and Chris Arreola landed a few. But to be honest, Deontay Wilder's movement was that much better. The Arreola's attack was particularly limited. Fourth round, Chris Arreola was only really getting joy when he was in close, which we would expect. And when he was in close, this resulted in a pretty fantastic uppercut from Deontay Wilder, which completely slowed down Arreola. And then there was the knockdown. And realistically, I think here, Deontay Wilder was capable of getting the stoppage, but the guy was saved by the bell. One thing I noticed in here was that, again, I've noticed this so many times about Deontay Wilder, it kind of what makes him exciting as well. His punches sometimes, when he goes in for the kill, they are wild. Yes, they are wild. They come in from real far out. They're so wide. And they're kind of low. And I don't know, they're just really wild. If you can remember the Duopa stoppage, the way that he was just hopping across the ring towards him and swinging those punches left and right. And it was kind of similar here. But I think here is where he developed an injury, which we'll talk about later in that round. Now we move on to the fifth round, and surprisingly, considering that he was dropped, Arreola came out and he was pressing. There was a bit of lack of action. And realistically, both guys were off the gas. And as I say, I think this is because in the previous round, Deontay Wilder had developed the injury. That's what I think. I think that's the case. Sixth round, again, not a brilliant round. A bit of infighting here and there, which was the standout moment of the round. Move on to the seventh round, and it was a bit of a sandwich round where there was a lot of jabbing at the start. Then there was pressing from Arreola, but we saw some crazy showboating from Deontay Wilder where he was grinding, and it was quite amusing. And then he moved on to some serious offense, and we saw right at the end of the round, Arreola was blowing out of both ends. You could tell that he didn't really want much more of this. We moved into the eighth round, and it was one-way traffic from Deontay Wilder. It was just a clean, clinical jab fest. And pretty much that was it. Chris Arreola did not come out for any further action. You could see that his eye was pretty much closed. And that was all she wrote. So we move forward with another win for Deontay Wilder. But it comes out to our attention that Deontay Wilder actually broke his fist, his hand, and he also tore a bicep. Now, you've got to appreciate that this is a punching game, and two crucial elements of producing a great punch, he was severely limited and damaged, and it must have been really painful. And as I've said just a few moments ago, I think it was caused in the fourth round, and I think it was because his punches were so wide and they were coming from out wide. And I think that form of punching, it's not clean, it's not clinical, and you're not putting your full power into it. And I think that possibly could have jarred his arm, his system, his fist, and it could have caused those injuries, which is not good for him, because Deontay Wilder's had a number of injuries in the past. I believe he's broken his hand before, like a lot of guys have, to be perfectly honest. But it's not great. And I've seen on social media just earlier when I was just trying to find out the current situation that he has had surgery on both situations, but we all know, like, surgery can be good and it can fix you up great, but if you keep having it, you keep having those problems, it's not gonna help you down the road. So we can only hope that he recovers 100%, because he's definitely one of the most exciting players in the game, and we want to see him in those big super fights, which are just around the corner. There's so many fights that are just around the corner that are going to be super exciting to see. Now, just trying to think back to what I said in the preview for this thing, I kind of said that Arreola was kind of made for Deontay Wilder. Since he's become champion, we know that Wilder's fought Stefan, Molina, Duhaupas, Polish guy, I can't think his name is off the top of my head, all of a similar-ish style, and Arreola kind of fits into that style again. Some might say he's possibly a little bit more skilled, and he's definitely more experienced than those guys, but kind of similar style, kind of press forward, going to try and get in close, going to try and rough up the opponent. And we basically said that if Deontay Wilder boxes clever, he uses his movement, his athleticism, he is just going to be running about all the time. He's going to be landing with his phenomenal reach, and he's just basically going to rip Arreola's face apart. And that's basically what happens. So again, another prediction, bang on the money. I can't actually remember what I put down as my prediction. I just tried to go through my video, but then I realised that I waffled on for about 30 minutes on that prediction. I'm not going to bother to listen through to it again because I'm a busy man. So, moving forward with Deontay Wilder. Where does Deontay Wilder go from here? Now, obviously, he's got these injury problems which need to heal fully. We want them to heal fully. Kind of went into this fight as well, kind of probably not in the greatest frame of mind considering the way that he'd been messed about with the Povetkin drug scenario, which was a big fight where we were all getting super excited for that fight because realistically it was going to put Deontay Wilder, if he beat Povetkin, as the number 2 guy in the division. Now, I'm just looking at BoxRec, see what they say. Now, funnily enough, they've got Deontay Wilder down as number 5. Yeah. Now, I'm sure that prior to this fight, he was, I don't know, I'm sure he was at least 4, possibly 3. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but Anthony Joshua was not above him. And I can't believe that they put Anthony Joshua above him because Anthony Joshua, come on, like, yes, we know he is an actual beast. He's an actual beast. But he's not fought anyone. He's not fought any top 20 guys. So it seems crazy. It seems crazy. It seems crazy that he'd be there where Deontay Wilder has fought. Who's he fought? Malik Scott, Duhaupas, Molina, Stefan, who are all in the top 20. Sometimes it's a great system, but that must be flawed. I'm sorry, I can't agree with that. Deontay Wilder has to be above Anthony Joshua in the rankings. But as I say, hopefully in the next couple of months, we've got Klitschko Fury 2. This is the defining fight in the division for me. It really is going to answer so many questions. And personally, I would like to see Deontay Wilder fight the winner. It may be the case that Wladimir Klitschko, regardless of the outcome of the fight, retires. I would not be too surprised with that. But I'd like, if he does carry on, I'd like Wilder to be the first one. I'd like Wilder to be the guy. They may try and set up an Anthony Joshua super fight with Klitschko. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, but I'd like to see Wilder versus Klitschko. And then that's really for the number 1 spot. I don't really want to see some of these other guys fighting, but what I wouldn't be surprised if Wilder's next fight is Pulev. We've got Ortiz versus Usmanov coming up later on in the year. We've got Parker. I can't remember at the moment now who they're thinking about putting him in with. We've got other players in the game like Lucas Browne when he comes back from the ban. David Hayes going to be trying to push himself into that position. But for me, I think Wilder will fight Pulev. And I actually think it will be a really, really good fight. Might not be the most exciting on paper, but I think it will be a good fight. And again, Wilder can beat Pulev, it seriously ranks him up, because then he's fought another top 20 guy. He's the only guy out there who's fighting top 20 guys. So it would be another step for 2017, we get the super fights, the Klitschko Fury, the Anthony Joshua, Luis Ortiz, Joseph Parker. These sort of fights, it's all around the corner. There's so many big fights coming up. So let's just wait and see. But anyway, another expected victory for Deontay Wilder. So if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. If you've got any questions, hit me up below with the comments section, and we'll see you in the next video soon. I've been Teekosey. This has been another round of With Just 15 Defeats.